Well, Cam, great to catch up with you. We're out and about in Kirwee. Tell us about what you're doing there.
So I'm on duty on the balance stand today as the director, so getting out and having a chat with farmers today, just trying to test the mood and see where people are at. So yeah, great chance to connect with the local community down here.
Now, the South Island Field Days, it's sort of an alternate one, isn't it? So one year it's in Canterbury and the next year it's in Southland. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah. So this year in Kiwi, next year down in Southland. So it's a great way to sort of rotate between the major agricultural zones and I guess just connect with different communities every year, which is it's a great setup.
Kirwee, it's one of the great names in New Zealand geography. I think it sounds like someone's whistling to a dog or sheep or something, doesn't
it? Absolutely. There's actually not a lot here, to be honest. When people talk Kirwee, there's a pub and a service station. So the township itself is very rural, but it certainly comes alive every 2 years at this time, end of March. Yeah, it really draws a crowd. It usually puts on a great show for weather, but not this year. It's absolutely freezing here today.
Well, who would be an organiser, eh? Who would be an organiser of any sort of event? Because, you think, well, March will be lovely calm month, probably the nicest month of the year. And here you've got, tell us what it was like yesterday and what have you got today?
Yeah, we're freezing here yesterday. Some hailstorms coming through, a lot of rain. A high of about 6 degrees. I think we're going to end up with a high of 8 degrees here today. So yeah, just incredibly cold. Everyone's huddling inside. There's plenty of coffee and hot food flowing, and that's keeping people happy. So at least it's dry today. That's the upside today.
So what's the talk around the traps at the moment? What's exercising people, if you like?
Once people have defrosted, which is probably the key part, it is all about weather. It's been a very cold, long, drawn out. Well, I don't think we ever got out of winter from last year, to be honest. It feels like it's been grey, wet. The summer came and went in about 3 weeks, and we're back into winter weather again. So our weather systems here, or farming systems here in Canterbury, rely on sun and heat. We can generally make it rain when we like, but this year the rain has come at us from all sides, relatively cold, a lot of cloud, and really just another symptom of the La Nina weather system we've had here for the last 3 years that I think everyone up and down the country has certainly had enough of, to be honest.
It has been a good year for the harvest, though, I understand, and particularly mid-Canterbury. They've got good yields and good quality, so at least that's probably one of the few positives that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, it has. Actually, surprisingly, the weather here has been good for nearly every other crop apart from pasture. So yeah, arable crops, seed crops have all done phenomenally well. We grow about 35 hectares of barley ourselves, and record yields. So there have been some upsides, and I guess in terms of a harvest window, which was so hard to come by last year, we've only get 2 or 3 days of dry weather in a row. We've actually had a reasonable dry period to get those crops off, and they are looking really good. So I think that's kept farmers happy, and as dryland farmers too have done phenomenally well. It's been green for a lot of North Canterbury all the way through the summer. Plenty of feed floating around. So yeah, other than those that have got the irrigation and actually rely on sunshine this time of year, everyone else has actually done extremely well. So overall, I think the mood is relatively good from a production perspective, and it's really just prices and costs and interest rates really that are the talk of the town today.
And what about balance? You're there on the balance stand. What's the message?
Fruit prices. Yeah, fruit prices have been up. It's been an interesting 12, 18 months to be involved as a director of balance through all the turmoil that's happened around the world with pricing the way that it's been. A lot of disruption, supply chain disruption, and prices that have roller coasted up and down really for the last 12 months. So thankfully, fertiliser or urea nitrogen cost is coming down. It may not be fast enough to have much of an effect for the tail end of this season, but next season is looking fantastic, to be honest. So it won't look, prices won't return back to where they were. There's still a war on in Europe. There's still some disruptors there, but the patterns are looking good for a much more manageable and practical and economic urea price for next season. So that's something to look forward to.
So in terms of the field days, Cam, it's not an AMP show as such, is it? But it's a lot of trade exhibits and a lot of organisations such as yourself, just as I say, getting the message across.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. So for those that have been to the North Island Field Days at Mystery Creek, it's very similar to that. On a smaller scale, obviously, and much more of a South Island feel to it. So you find a lot more arable machinery, which is great for the kids. Around here, a lot more cropping and tillage equipment, harvesting. So it does have its own unique flavour down here in Canterbury. But yeah, like the North Island Field Days, just a great chance for farmers to get off farm and socialise, catch up, and just to have a good chat. Normally under great circumstances in the weather once harvest is finished. But yeah, look, I think there's the brave souls that are out here today. It is meant to warm up again tomorrow, so hopefully more of a crowd tomorrow.